Hey, this is Eric Hamadi coming to you from the road down here in Texas, Central Texas, driving from one meeting to the next. But I'm recording this video specifically for Protect One Family, one of my favorite organizations, headquartered out of North Carolina, run by my good friend and one of my best sales mentors I've ever met in my life, and had a chance to work with, Vance Davenport. So if you're watching this video and you're not a part of that organization, I'm really sorry for you, because those guys really have it buttoned up with their leadership. And if you are a part of that organization, the reason I'm recording this video is as a make good for the conference call that I was supposed to be on this morning. I set 3 alarms to be on that conference call with you guys, and I slept through all 3 of them. And it's not something I haven't used that excuse since college, but that's the truth. And I just had a new baby, and that baby has been keeping us awake all night. And I guess staying in a hotel room by myself, all nice and dark and quiet, my body just insisted on catching up on all that sleep I've been missing the last 3 weeks. So anyways, that being said, what Van had asked me to cover with you guys on the call this morning was 3 things. One was how to have a kick-ass start to your Train More. Second thing was any B2B technology tools for prospecting or keeping your leads, organized, or helping you get in the door with prospective customers. And then the third thing was how to use the momentum that you are generating on this Train More to carry you into a really strong start for your Q4. So those 3 topics, here's what I'm going to cover for the next 10-15 minutes. So first of all, how to have a kick-ass start to your Train More week. So first of all, the most important thing you can do is to get organized. And Rachel Burnett is one of my favorite salespeople and team leaders in Family Heritage, and she's just the queen of this. And she's actually taught me more about getting organized than I probably have taught her. But getting organized means the first thing is so basic, is to get that Train More booklet off of the website and do that Train More territory worksheet that they have. Find out who's the mayor of the town that you're working in, who's the sports team mascot, who are any of the key teachers, elementary, junior high, high school teachers. Is there anybody famous from that community that left and went on to do better things? Is your city, what county is it in? What's the county seat? Are you working in the county seat? Why would that help you? Just because now you can call on the county and the county judge and all the different, other things that are going on in that county. What's the biggest business in that city that you're working in? Who owns it? How many people do they employ? Gosh, I'm trying to think of what else is on that list, but any power names at all. What's the city that you're working in? What are they known for? Do they have the world's largest pecan, like Seguin, Texas does? Do they have, some of these things are great. We've got the world's best watermelon, right? We've got more alligator tails, and whatever it is, that city has something that the Chamber of Commerce has put together that, is that city's claim to fame. So know what that is. The more of that stuff that you can know before you start knocking on doors and walking into businesses, the better your approach is going to be, the more bridges you're going to be able to build with those people, and the more your approaches are going to turn into demos, which is the whole name of the game in this business. The other thing is, look and see who are current clients in that city. So through your agency owner, Van or Rich, or any of these guys that are in contact with the home office, you can say, hey, look, I'm working in High Rock, North Carolina this week. Can I get a list of active customers? Not to go visit them, but just to be able to show people, hey, look, here's 20 people in town that already have our coverage. You're not the first guinea pig that we're trying this coverage out on. Okay, it works, and people here have it. Go online and find out all the IRAs that you can get out of that county. The information release authorizations, the cancer stories and stuff where we've paid them money when they've gone through, whatever diseases they've had. Go on Google and type up, whatever your city name is and cancer occurrence. See what you can find out for the cancer rates, the heart disease rates, in terms of percentages. anybody who's, that'll churn up also any articles that were written in the local paper about, local business people or prominent people who've been affected by those diseases and those conditions, all of which you can use in your intros and in your approaches. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I usually do. Oh, go on Reference USA and download a list of at least 100 businesses, if you have that many, but for sure most of you guys should be working in towns where there's at least 100 businesses. Download the list of who those businesses are. Who owns them? How many employees do they have? What do they do in revenue every year? And if you can, plot them out on a map. And I'm going to talk about that in fact, that's a great segue to get into the technology piece. So, but before I move into the technology piece, just I guess a recap would be: get organized, be organized, know what's up with your town, and marry like in a ceremony. Do a ceremony in the mirror with yourself and marry that town for the week. That's your baby, okay? And you're there to help as many people as you can, and you're dedicating your week to this town and the people that live in it. Okay? So now moving on to technology. What are some technology tools? So the first technology tool that's super helpful is some kind of tool that's going to help you map out and plot out all the people that you want to talk to and all the people that you are talking to during that week. So some of us use the old school yellow pad technology. That's what I started out with, yellow pad technology. It was on a nice 8.5 by 11 size tablet that was literally just a bunch of paper. And you would use one of these things. I think I've got one right here. Hold on. It's a high-tech tool. It's called a pen. And you would use this pen, it has ink in it, and you would make notes on this yellow pad of the people that you were talking to or wanted to talk to or were targeting, for that week. Nowadays, there's just no excuse to do your business that way. Okay, if you've got a cell phone, if you've got a tablet, iPad, Samsung, Galaxy, whatever it is, okay, even Windows tablets, they'll do it for you, okay? And so the apps that you want to use, I'm going to give you a couple. One that's super easy, and it's one of my favorites, is called Spotio. Spotio, Spotio. And for $20 a month, you can create an account on this thing, and it will, and you can create your own sales system of all the different points in the sales process that you go through. It took me maybe 45 minutes to set one up, and I've got it all documented on my blog. So I'll along with this video, I'll shoot you guys a link of how to set up your Spotio. So for pre-approach and referrals and businesses, business targets, decision makers, all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you exactly how to set that up in my blog post, and you guys can put that to work. It shouldn't take you more than 30 to 45 minutes to set it up. And what's great about it is it'll show you a map of your entire area. And as you walk into these businesses and walk into these people's homes, you can just touch the house, the little box on the Google map that it's showing you, and it'll drop what they call a pin on top of this house and automatically populate the address. And then all you got to do is plug in the person's name and the best time to catch up with them. And it's a super easy way to take pre-approach and to track your progress. And you can actually even set up in that tool KPIs, which are that's short for key performance indicators. So a KPI in our business would be how many attempts have I made, like how many doors have I knocked on. And then another KPI would be how many people did I talk to. And then another KPI would be how many decision makers did I talk to. And then maybe another KPI would be how many demos did I schedule. And then your final KPI would be how many sales did I make, how many of those turned into customers. And so if you're keeping track of those KPIs, the software will do it for you, the app will do it for you. And you can actually, you can create leaderboards for your team, so you can actually roll this out for your people that you're managing. And you can actually see and have little contests. That's what we do, is like, hey, who can win the most contacted, by noon? Okay, who can have the most contacted by 3? Who can have the most demos scheduled by 6, right? And you can see all of that on the leaderboards right in the app. So it's an incredible tool, not just for making sure that your prospects and where your prospects are all on point, but also just, who's working hard and, where are they and where's all the activity happening. And remind me, I'm going to come back at the end of the video when I talk about building momentum for Q4, and I'm going to come back to this Spotio point here in a second. But Anyway, so Spodio is a great tool. Another great tool that you can use if you don't want to spend the $20 a month is called Sales Navigator. That's an iOS only app, but you can get it on your phone and on your iPad. That one's free, and you can also do the same thing. You can drop pins and all that kind of stuff. Another one is Sales Rabbit, and yet another one is called Base. Now, Base is a little bit more expensive, but if you're the kind of salesperson who does a lot of B2B, a lot of like large enrollments where you've got multiple points of contact, you know, you've got the administrator, and then you got the board, and you got the decision maker. Or let's say if you're working like, say, fire departments or any first responders, you might have the chief, and you might have like all these other fire people that work for that chief, and you want to know how they're all related to each other. The Base app, and that's like home base, right? So Base, it's called Base CRM, and you can download that off the App Store or Google Play, either one. And you can, that one's a little bit more robust. So it does all the same things Spodio does, but it'll also allow you to create those kind of relational contacts if you're working a more sophisticated sales cycle. And, you know, if you're asking yourself, do I work a more sophisticated sales cycle? You don't, okay? If you know if you're working a more sophisticated sales cycle. So if you just popped into your head, which one's better for me? Go with Spodio, because it's cheaper and it's easier to use. But if you're one of those that has the more sophisticated, more complex client base, then Base might be a better answer for you. Okay. So those are some of the tech tools that I use to keep myself organized during the day. Another great tech tool that's totally free is called Cloze, C-L-O-Z-E. And you can use that, you can download that from the App Store, Google Play, you can use it on your computer. But what it does is it basically takes over your email. You give it access to your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, if you have like an AT&T or T-Mobile or Verizon cell phone, you can also connect your cell phone account to that. And what it'll do is it'll create unified profiles for everybody that you talk to. So if you're the type of person like myself, for example, who meet a lot of people socially, or you're out there and you network a lot, and you want to know, like, hey, when's the last time I talked to so-and-so? Or, hey, I've got this person in my contact list, but this person's a prospect, this person's a recruit prospect, this person's a business owner, this person's a potential referral partner, and you're trying to keep all that stuff straight. Cloze will do all that for you, and it'll keep track, and you can set like follow-up times. And so, like, for example, my referral partners, I may want to talk to them once a month. But my potential customers, I may want to talk to them twice a week. And my existing customers, I may want to talk to every quarter. And my agents, I may want to talk to twice a week. And my former agents, I may want to talk to them every 6 months, right? To see what's going on and see if I can re-recruit them or whatever the case is. Well, Cloze will let you identify all those different roles and set up customized follow-up sequences. And then it will just remind you. Like, so the Cloze lives on the front page of my iPhone. And that's the app that I use for my email, to make phone calls, everything. Because every time I call somebody, it logs it automatically in that app, asks me if I want to make any notes, and if I want to set a follow-up phone call or touch point. And that's huge, you know, in our business, because you know, the vast majority of agents that we work with, and including myself for the first couple of years that I was in this business, we're not good at following up. We're great at approaching people today, but we're not great necessarily at following up with people, you know, a month from now, 3 months from now, a year from now, whatever the case may be, because we're all on that short-term thinking, you know, that instant gratification of where's my sale coming from today. And while that's important, you know, all the activity, think about it, all the activity that you put into writing an Eagle, right? And you write 10,000, 15,000 a premium. How much activity went into talking to people that never bought? I mean, 75% probably. I mean, that's a low estimate. You know, it could be 80% or 90% of your time every week is spent talking to people who do not buy from you that week. And so with an app like Cloze, you can actually like set these follow I'm not a huge fan of that because their app kind of sucks, but it is pretty good in terms of like building, interconnected social profiles. So you can create one profile, and this one person's got their Facebook, their LinkedIn, their Twitter, the last several things that you've done with them. But to me, Close is just way better. So, but it may not suit, not everything's for everybody. So feel free to try both. See which one you like better. Okay. Trying to think what else I use for technology. Let's see. PDF Expert. So if you have an iPad, PDF Expert is a must-have app. It costs $10, but you pay it one time, and the app belongs to you. And you can put any PDF that you want in there, and you can split it apart, break it up into pieces, and reassemble it. So like, for example, if you want a PDF file that's your demo, it's your customized demo, the way that you like to give it, you can actually take pages from this demo and that demo, you can merge them all together, you can take IRAs and put them in there, and then you can just have one PDF file that's exactly the way you like it. If you have a kit that you like to send to people, like say insurance brokers or things like that, I found myself sending people like, all these files attached to an email, and then they're like, hey, which file is most recent? PDF Expert is amazing because you can just create a PDF packet and send them one file. And sorry, my video got cut off there. So it's got everything that you want in one packet. I was saying about PDF Expert. And I'm trying to think if there's any other app that's kind of a no-brainer app. The other thing you can do with PDF Expert, which is amazing, if you have a stylus or if you have the Apple Pencil, is you can actually write on your PDFs, which means that all of my apps now are a PDF in my iPad. And so when I sit down with a prospect or a policyholder, I just pull up the digital version of their app, grab my stylus, and I can fill it out right there on the iPad screen without necessarily having to be plugged into the internet like you do with an e-app. And so it just makes it so much easier, so much less stuff that I have to carry inside a house or inside a business demo, and yet I'm armed and dangerous and ready to write apps wherever I go. So PDF Expert is probably the best app that I've got on my iPad. Let me think if there's anything else. One of my favorites, Slack. So if you have a team that you're managing, check out Slack. It's a free app, and what you can do on Slack is you can create. We've eliminated in my entire business. We don't do any emails anymore. So if I want to get something out to the whole team, I put it in Slack. There's a big, nice general thread. Everybody's a part of it. And I've got different channels. You can create channels and say, this is the channel for incentives, and this is the channel for our Cabo trip, and this is the channel for the upcoming Train More, and this is the channel for whatever. And then you can also instant message people privately on Slack, but it's captured inside that app so that unlike a text message or say Voxer, which, has got there's no way for me to go back and search stuff that well. On Slack, if I send somebody a file or if I send somebody a private message or whatever, it's all archived, and I can go back in there and search through, hey, can you resend me that, this or that or the other, whatever the case may be. I can just go right back into Slack, find the file, and, relink their name to it. And so it's just that's a great app for communication. So that's Slack. That's probably enough for you guys on the tech side. But if there's anything else that you'd like to get my take on, if you're like, hey, Hamadi, I just heard about this app, and have you ever played with it? Chances are I have. So before you waste a lot of time checking it out, feel free to ping me. I'm on Twitter at DC Offline, and you can just chat at me on there. It's the easiest way to get in touch with me. And I'll let you know if it's a waste of your time, or if, hey, I thought it had a lot of potential, but I didn't really mess with it that much, or, hey, I never heard of that. Thanks for telling me. So, and then the third thing was that Van wanted me to talk about is how to leverage this week into having a strong Q4. So this is one of the biggest probably challenges in our business, is to help our agents think forward. So a lot of times, if any of you guys shoot pool, you know how you sometimes you spend so much time lining up your shot and concentrating on getting that ball in the pocket that you forget to line up the next shot, right? And that's how you get schooled on the pool table. Trust me, I've been schooled a lot. And so the most critical thing you can do when you're shooting pool is not to just get the ball in the pocket. I mean, that's obviously, if you don't get the ball in the pocket, you're not going to shoot again. But to realize where you want your ball sitting on the table when that ball drops. And so same thing in our business. So Q4, I got to tell you, is the most important quarter of the entire year. So wherever you are for the year after Q3, if you're looking at where you want to be, Q3, where you are up to through Q3, should be 2/3 of your entire year. Okay, so if you work the whole year long, so Q4 can literally account for not just a fourth of your year, but it could account for a third, and I've seen it sometimes account for even a half of somebody's business for the year. And so, but that's not going to happen if you don't set it up properly. And so what you want to be doing this week is, while you're on your train more, if you're working your home area, that's obvious. Get a ton of referrals. Use this time where everybody is in the field and everybody's working hard to work longer hours, work later, get more referrals, and just be in the field to kickstart your week so that you're rolling into next week with 100, 150 referrals from this week. If you're working not in your home area, then the number one thing that you can do is, yes, hit your eagle, but then ask everybody, hey, who do you know back in Charlotte? Who do you know back in Raleigh? Who do you know, right? Ask for referrals where you currently are working all week, right? So not just people that are local, but hey, listen, I live full-time up in Raleigh, and I work best by word of mouth. Who can you think of that should really know about their options like you do? One thing I love down here in the small towns is that everybody knows everybody, but I can tell you, it's not like that up in Raleigh, right? Oh yeah, that's right, it's not. Well, listen, maybe you can help me out. I hate cold calling. It's the worst part of what I do. Who do you know back up in Raleigh that I could sit down with and show what I do with? And that's just cool. People like you. I don't care if they're interested. I don't care if they qualify. I just want to spend my time talking to cool people. Who do you know back in Raleigh that I can visit with next week? Okay. And if you can roll out of your train more with 40 or 50 great referrals for next week in Raleigh or in your hometown, wherever that is, you're going to be golden for the next 2 or 3 weeks, setting yourself up. So be smart about it, right? The other thing is that if your town, if that's someplace that you love working and you've maybe worked there the last 2 or 3 train mores, ask around for a recruit. Start field recruiting. Hey, I come down here every couple of months. I love this city. This is amazing. I mean, you guys are awesome. But you know what I don't have down here? I don't have a permanent agent that's dedicated to work in this area, and I need one. Look at all the referrals that I've got. I've got more leads than I know what to do with. Who do you know that is awesome like us, that I could talk to about working with me in my business and working these leads that I've got? Because if there is nothing more powerful to your business than a quality recruit. I mean, nothing. I would trade easily, 5 or 6 eagles, right, for a quality recruit. So when you think about that, especially if this is a town that you want to come back to and that you think, man, I definitely want to build a business here, get a recruit to work it locally. You can tee up all kinds of leads and then turn them over to your guy to go work, and you can figure out how to split the commission on that. So start getting smart about smarter. Sorry, I mean, I'm sure all of you guys are smart, but start getting smarter about how you spend your time and what you're looking for. The biggest things that I'm looking for are referrals and recruits all the time. So who do you know that I can see right now? Who do you know that I can sit down with and demo right now? Who do you know that's awesome, that's a badass like us, that I can talk to about possibly getting into my business, So anyways, those are the ideas that I kind of was going to share with you on the conference call this morning. I apologize for not making it. It would have been great to give this to you guys in person, but now you get the added bonus of getting to look at my face the entire time that you were listening to what I had to say. So anyways, if you want to ask me any questions personally, or you want to, yell at me, you can find me on Twitter. That's, like I said, the easiest thing. That's at DC, like Washington, DC, and offline, not online, but offline, DC offline. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. And I will, when I send this video to Van, I'm going to also send a link to that Spotio setup blog post, so that if you guys decide to try that app, you can borrow my setup function, so that you don't have to rethink through and recreate the wheel on that. So anyways, thanks for inviting me to talk, Van, and hope this was of impact to everybody on the call.